Hey, welcome to another edition of Power Pearls Unplugged on this dreary, dark Friday. So I am broadcasting from a different place. So from time to time, I like to do that depending on the light in my house. So I like to do this in my home, and it's just a really nice place to broadcast. And so I'm really happy that you are joining me today. So while we're waiting a little bit for people to fly into the room here, hey Chris, it's always nice to see you pop in here, one of the early ones to jump in. So before we get started, I will slowly introduce myself. So if you are, hey Jenna, how are you? So my name is Kara. In case you don't know who I am, if this is the first time that you're finding this video, this live webcast, welcome. My name is Kara Gott Warner, and I am the host of Power Pearls podcast. It's a bi-weekly podcast, and I talk to a variety of different people, rock stars, as I like to say, rock stars in the industry, and designers, and that falls under the category of designers, yarn companies, publishers, and that means editors like myself. And so I really, I just have a fun time. It's like talking to a bunch of friends. So I feel really blessed and really honored to have those kind of conversations. And so the cool thing is that I am almost nearing 50 episodes. So I have to start planning early for a celebration. So if any of you guys have any ideas what you'd like to see for a celebration episode, so number 50 will probably hit sometime in October, which is next month, tomorrow. Tomorrow's October. I can't believe it. Oh my gosh. Something on my glasses here, but yeah, so tomorrow is already October, if you can believe it. So we have some exciting things coming up that I want to announce on the podcast. We'll get to that later in my random ramblings section. And also we have a knit along coming up too. And I want to write a little note real quick because there's so many things to share. So Creative Knitting, there's going to be a knit along for a new issue. It's the winter issue. So you guys, where shall we start? So I see some of you are coming on in, and as you are, please feel free to jump into the chat. Yes, Chris, 50 episodes, really exciting stuff. So yeah, and that's going to be coming up. So just this morning, a new episode went live with Brooke Nico. So I don't know if any of you have ever heard of Brooke. She is, I like to call her a lace knitting phenom. Like it just flows off her needles. When it comes to lace, she's phenomenal. And she just has the brain, the engineering brain, the math brain. So she's on Power Pearls, episode 46. So you can check that out by going to powerpearlspodcast.com. And that episode is the latest one on the top of the page, so you can't miss it. Or you can always search later on. If you're watching this as a replay video or a couple weeks later, you can search Brooke. It's that easy. And it's episode 46. So you can check that out. So let's get started into the part that I really love, and that is now that you know who I am, I want to find out where you guys are viewing from on this Friday. And, is it morning? Is it afternoon? What's up in your world? So I want to hear. So Jana says, are you delaying adding the episodes to iTunes lately? Well, Jana, that is a really, really good question. Now, and it was part of it's a very grueling story. It just says that my connection is weak, and I hope that doesn't mean that I'm coming in pixelated. So, wow. So I'm going to wait like a moment or two to tell you this story. So I'm hoping that little note on the top of my screen is going away momentarily. Please go away. Please don't say that my connection is weak. Anyway, I guess I'm going to have to keep going. Yeah, so here's what happened, Jana. Here's what happened. So episode 45 with Robin Chichula was, it just didn't get to iTunes because there was a technical glitch for some weird reason, and I don't understand. And it took me 2 hours of sitting with a podcasting buddy, a fellow podcaster, and she helped me to, oh great, thank you, Betty. She helped me to figure it out. Now, of course, I thought it was the feed. It was the MP3 file. There was something wrong with my host. And, because I wrote iTunes. And anyway, to make a long story short, the oddball thing of it all was that it was in the show notes description. Like, there was no way to figure it out. And I think maybe it had to do with something being copied and pasted into the actual show notes editor, like on my website. So I took down the copy and added it back one by one. And eventually I figured out what the problem was. And the problem was, in the show notes where I have the timestamps, it was the timestamps for some weird reason, that whole section. So what I had to do was manually type it in. And my friend, my wonderful podcasting friend, Amy Joshua, who is the host of the Chasing Dreams podcast. Awesome podcast, you guys. Check it out because I think you might like it because you're all chasing your dreams. But anyway, so Amy, she was on the other end of the phone of this, actually Skype chat, and she read off the show notes, this time stamping section of Robin's episode. So confusing. I have magazine issues. And then I wrote it in one by one by one. And so that was it. That was how that whole thing started, or how that went down. And we fixed it. So Jana, that's the story. So we went off in a little tangent there. So let's see. So where are you guys all coming from? So Chris is in Sacramento, California. And let's see, Lynn is from Troy, Michigan. Brenda, looking good in Ireland. How exciting. All right, you guys, so I guess we can get started. So again, for those of you who've just come in just a moment or two ago, my name is Kara Warner, and I'm the host of Power Pearls podcast. And I am also the editor of Creative Knitting Magazine. And I come to you every Friday, also on Wednesdays too, on the Creative Knitting page. I do a little Q&A and I ask you questions. But today it's called Power Pearls Unplugged. And I talk about, lots of different topics as they pertain to your designing endeavors, but also how to make more creativity in your life. So Jana says, oh, wow, haha, I wound up just pulling it from the website and then saw it post later, so I was just a little confused. Yeah, it was funny, wasn't it? It was just so odd. So what we're going to talk about today, and I'm going to jump right in for those of you that might be a little bit anxious, okay? I just saw a couple of little angry faces go by. I don't know. Did I upset somebody? I certainly hope not. I'm trying to not be so rambly, because sometimes I can be a little bit rambly. And I'm sure that based on the description in the video notes, you want to see what's, you want to get down to business, down to design business, right? So I don't know who I'm making angry, but I'm doing my best, and I hope I'm delivering the best value to all you guys. So let's jump in, okay? So what's the topic for today? So we're going to talk about this guide. You're seeing the opposite. Sorry, you're seeing the reverse image. That's how it is in Facebook. I hope that, hello Facebook, I hope that you, hopefully angry faces were a mistake, says Chris. I hope so too. But anyway, that's okay. Chris, I guess that means people are paying attention. And, if at any time this isn't for you, then just, you can X out, right? I mean, that's the beauty of video. You don't have to watch. So this guide is something that I offer for free on my website, on powerpearlspodcast.com. And it's, I've been talking about it over the past several weeks, and I've been going actually through every step, all 8 steps, one by one. Yeah, there must be, Jana. So, oh well, no biggie. So we've been doing that. And the last time I went through the last few steps was on the 16th of September, because last week, if you joined me, you'll know that I was joined by Tabitha Hedrick for our monthly Ask Kara and Tabitha Anything episode. And now I'm doing those exclusively on Facebook Live. So they'll no longer be on the podcast, but you can still catch the past episodes on there. And the reason why we both made that decision was because this is the perfect medium for that, because you guys can ask us questions on the spot. Whereas with the podcast, not so much. You know what I mean? So it's a two-way convo, which is really awesome. So what we're going to talk about today are steps 7 and 8. And by the way, if you don't have this guide, you can go to and it's also, by the way, it's in the video copy. So if you go above this video, you'll see a little link. It's a little bit.ly link that's going to take you to sign up. You can sign up. So it means you're signing up for my newsletter, because that's how you'll get this. But you can go to powerpearlspodcast.com and scroll to the very bottom of the page, and you'll see a box that shows you how to get the 8-step guide. So this is me giving you everything that I have as an editor. And these are the 8 steps that I think are like, I guess you could, more or less think of them as like the skeleton steps. Because as a designer or an aspiring designer, over time, you'll probably tweak these steps and change them for yourself. But if you want to work with magazines and, quite frankly, anything you want to do as an independent designer, this guide is going to help you, because it addresses the things that are really important to tell your story and to portray your vision. And so that's what we're going through. And so I really hope that you have been enjoying this guide and that it's helped you. So, I'd love for you to reach out to me and let me know. There's so many ways you can get in touch with me, but pretty easily at Kara@powerpearlspodcast.com. And I would love to hear from you. So, okay, so number 7 is what we're going to go through. So let's get into it. So number 7 is make it easy to get in touch, right? That seems like a no-brainer, right? Of course it does. So number 7 is right here. So make it easy to get in touch. Make it easy to get in touch. So, okay, the editor takes time. I take the time to outline certain things in the guidelines. And that thing that seems like a no-brainer about putting your contact information on every page, it's really powerful. It's really important, because these don't get stapled, the pages. So let's say you have a multiple page proposal. They don't get stapled, only paper clipped, because the editor will kind of move things around and dynamically arrange different parts of your proposal maybe with a yarn card that goes, that's going to go with your design, whatever. And so I know this from experience, because I'll go through my file and I'll see a lonely page, and it's beautiful, and it'll have a lovely sketch and details about a design, and there's not a single bit of contact information anywhere. And so that to me is sad, because that means that I can't get in touch. So as simple as it seems, it's hugely important. And when we're working through the process, right, to put together a beautiful presentation and remembering to dot all the I's and cross all the T's, it's really easy to forget. Like, you know that saying, you can't see the forest for the trees? Have you guys heard that saying? Right? That's exactly it. That's exactly it. So you can't sometimes, and it's that little teeny weeny thing. So make it super easy for the editor to get in touch, okay? Because that can make the difference between getting your design picked and not picked. It's just, that's just the truth. So easy way to fix it. Okay, so now let's move into step number 8. And step number 8 is become a person known for detail. This is really important, guys. Super important, right? Because if you're known for detail, you're making the editor's job super easy. well, it's, easier because you're inspiring the editor, right? You're really setting the stage, you're painting that picture. So never think that extra bells and whistles don't matter. Extra bells and whistles are great as long as your proposal isn't tedious and too wordy. So so there's the difference between being known as a person for detail and being too wordy. You really don't want to be too wordy, but you want to be visually detailed. Visually detailed, tell your story through sketch. We've said this before. So if you guys are just coming the first time, go to the archives. You can see what I've been talking about over the last couple of weeks. And that's what's so great about these videos, because they don't go away. They're always going to be here. So you can go and binge watch a little bit, right? Binge watch while you're knitting. And this is perfect for the weekend coming up. So become known as a person a person known for detail, and make it visually detailed. And remember to, like I said before, dotting those I's and crossing those T's. Also, don't do it on the fly. Put it in a PDF. Embed your images, your swatch, just like the way this beautiful, it's hard to see here, but little example of it. It is a little wordy for my taste, but I pulled this out because I absolutely love the fact that this designer could create a sketch like this. And the most important aspect, she's telling the story with this edge, or this piece of the tank that's actually right down in here. So the special shaping, and then she even goes further to sketch it even more here, which is super, super amazing. And so I knew what I was going to get in the end. And here's the lovely photo of the model. She's one of my very favorite models in creative knitting. I absolutely love, love, love working with her. And she's just as beautiful inside as she is outside. One of those kind of people, you know what I mean? So that's like really important. And by the way, this designer, her name is Megan Jones, and I work with her quite a bit. She's actually one of the contributing designers in the Annie's Signature Designs collection, the new one that's just went live in this month, the beginning of this month, September. And it's called the Annie's Autumn Bliss collection. And she created this beautiful Navajo poncho shawl. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So you can check that out at anniesignature.designs.com if you're interested. But she is a person known for detail, and she stays busy. And so I'm talking more about this step because it's important to me, because when you do become that person known for detail, you're also someone that the editor calls a go-to person, in air quotes, a go-to person. And so those are people that they can fill holes. And if I have a question about something or I need something, she can sketch it, she can swatch it, and then she can tell the story. And all I need to do is go, oh, yeah, perfect. And she'll send me ideas that maybe they don't fit my theme, or she tries to fit a theme, but I might see something beyond that. And a perfect example of that is she created a design for the summer issue. And I know that she can do some traditional lace looking, lace, and then also, get funky with it. And so I knew she could, because I wanted to use a new yarn from Freya. So Tina Whitmore was on this podcast, a few months ago, and she has this new merino shawl yarn, and I want to highlight it in the magazine and also do a story. So coming soon will be a story about Tina and Freya hand paints in the magazine in Creative Knitting. And so I reached out to Megan and I said, I'd love it for you to, work with this yarn. Here's what it looks like. Here's the color, and the color is called Dirty Hippie. So you can kind of imagine, you can go to Freya Hand Paints and see it. It's very colorful, really vibrant, really cool colorway. It's an ombre yarn, so it's got that kind of it bleeds, one color bleeds into the next and pulls, as Tina calls it, pulls into the next color. And sure enough, Megan came back with a stunning design that's sort of a play on tradition and modern lace, modern open work. So there you go. I mean, that's in action, a case study of step number 8 and how, becoming a person known for detail can really work in your favor, especially when you're working with magazines, working with yarn companies and others in the industry, because the truth is that you're not going to be able to only make a living doing one thing in this industry, as far as, designing patterns and working for magazines. You'll need to get scrappy. And we've talked about that before, kind of putting yourself out there in many different ways and really think about how you can serve the industry. And, on my Patreon page, so I'm on patreon.com, Patreon, patreon.com. And this is a place where you can support makers, creators. So basically, I do have once you become a patron, I think it's at the $10 level, I offer a workshop. So it's a private workshop about how to get scrappy as a designer and how you can serve the industry, the yarn industry, in different ways. And so I just share from my own experience, having been a freelance editor, an illustrator, and a knitwear designer, but taking all the skills that I've learned and putting them all together. And you'd be amazed just by thinking of what your basic skills, even those that you're like, I don't know how being a great cook could apply. I mean, I'm just being silly here, but things that you do every day that are like right under your nose, those are probably things that you can use in a very custom way to serve the needle arts industry. So just some fun advice there. So, hey Marie, how are you? Yeah, I see a little late, but that's cool. You can always go back and watch the replay. So I just finished talking about the last 2 steps in my 8 essential steps to creating a killer design proposal. So I know that you do have it, Marie, because I know you're on my list. And so I just finished those, and you can go back in the replay, because I really fleshed out things more than even beyond what's in the guide. And that's what I've been doing on this little series that was started a couple months back. So that's it. Now I'm going to kind of shift gears a little bit here. Oh, before I shift gears, this was the other note I made, note to self. So as far as this becoming known for a person known for detail, and also just how to apply and applying all of these 8 steps, I highly recommend, if you are a new listener to the podcast, and even if you've been listening since I started a year ago, can you believe it? Oh my gosh. So not only am I almost at 50 episodes, but I am at a year. Tomorrow marks my 1-year anniversary podcasting, 1-year anniversary for Power Pearls. So with the 50th episode, there's also going to be a really fun celebration. So if you guys have any ideas, let me know. But anyway, so I think if you're just starting out on your journey and you really want to dig into this guide, go back to episode 1, and that was where I spoke to Trisha Malcolm, who's the editor of Vogue Knitting, and we just had kind of like a chat session about what editors really look for, kind of like an editor to editor discussion, and also the things that we like, and the things we don't like, so that you can do what we like, not do those things that are going to, lessen your chances for getting picked for the magazine. And then also another episode that you might want to listen to is episode 29, and it's titled "How to Get Unstuck and Start a Knit Design Business." So those are 2 that you might want to check out. And then also just go back to the beginning. I do this a lot myself with podcasts, business podcasts. I'm a real junkie myself. And I go back and I will listen to an episode that really excited me and interested me, and I will listen to it multiple times, and I will take detailed notes, and then it'll really help me to implement what it is that I need to do. So I know that, if you're in a different place in your life and you go back, let's say you guys go back today and you listen to my episode with Trisha, and maybe that needs to be number 50. Maybe that's the encore episode, and then I add more commentary. What do you think about that one? What do you think about that? So go back to all of these. Go back to all of these episodes and re-listen, because, you might be in a different place in your life, and something I say or something the guest says might strike you in a different way. So anyway, that's just kind of some good little tidbits. So I'm going to just kind of go back here and see what you guys have been talking about. Deborah says, what is your choice in cotton yarn? What's my choice in cotton yarn? Well, as a matter of fact, and it's too bad that I don't have my project sitting here with me, but I am playing around with Universal's Sea Spray. I think it's called Sea Spray. And it's a cotton-based yarn. And I'm telling you, it is a joy to work with. And the reason why I'm working with it is because I'm actually in the process of designing a piece for the Annie's Signature Designs collection next spring, for the Spring 17, if you can believe that, the Spring 17 collection. It's gorgeous. It is, I think it says, it's a DK weight, but it feels like a worsted weight, but it's so nice to work with. And it's not heavy. It doesn't, like, so far I'm feeling like it's not a really heavy yarn. So check that out. Universal Sea Spray. Actually, if you go to Annie's yarnshop.com, just type it in and you'll find it there. So, hey, Stephanie, welcome from Colorado. Awesome. And Angie is watching from London, England. How exciting. By the way, my son's name is London. Anyway, so cool, Angie. Nice to see you. So, all right, let's go into the last little bit. I'm going to shift those gears now. And I'm going to go and talk about my random ramblings section. So I want to let you know about something, okay? I'm finally revealing little tidbits here about my workshop. So it's out. I've been a little bit nervous about it because, it's a commitment. I've done some workshops in the past and they take so much time. And, with the magazine and all these other things that I have going on, because the magazine takes up most of my time, 80% of my time on the magazine. And then the other 20, I get to play around on the podcast, but it's not always playing. There's a lot of work. But I feel like a workshop would be lovely for you guys. And if you are on my newsletter, you got the newsletter this morning, and I was talking about my crafty morning workshop. I'm calling it a morning maker workshop. And basically it is how can you start a morning routine? Because I'm a big morning person. Now I know some of you guys aren't, but that's okay, because there might be another time during the day that works better for you, like a time capsule or a time capsule. Yeah, time capsule. Like, so that time that's protected, that no one will bother you. So maybe it's not the morning, maybe it's at night. Maybe you're a night owl. I'm not. So that's why I do it in the morning. And I get up, so 2 hours in the morning, let's say, or even if it's an hour. And in this workshop, I'm going to show you how to structure your morning so you can add in the nurturing time. Maybe it's a mindfulness practice, it's meditation, it's journaling. And I believe that all of these things tie back to what it is that we're trying to cultivate if we are trying to grow a business. So you guys, any of you guys watching that are not into starting a business, don't worry, because I'm talking to everyone. This is an everyone kind of workshop, because we all could, add in that time in the morning that's going to help broaden our horizons, broaden our day, if you will, and make us feel really like it's a launch pad, like it's a real launch pad. So there'll also be audio. It is an audio. It is an audio workshop. Okay, so audio only. Okay, here we go. I just had to move. Sorry, you guys. Sorry. It just said that we had a weak connection and it paused. So, okay, let me start over. So the workshop, I won't start completely over, right where I left off. So it is an audio only workshop. It will be a paid product, just so you guys know, but I'm going to be talking about it on the podcast, and there'll be some fun little challenges and little prompts and things that you guys can use. And there'll be worksheets and weekly prompts. So that's going to be the really cool part of it. So when you sign up every week, you're going to get inspiring prompts and top of the week, inspiration from me about how to use the workshop session for that week. So, I'll share more. I'm thinking it's going to go live sometime in November or early December. So I'll share more soon. But what do you guys think about that? What do you think? I want to know what you guys think about that. Please tell me. I've been worried about sharing it because I wasn't sure if this is something that you'd want, but you got to kind of, this goes into all the things I talk with you guys about. Sometimes you just have to start with one thing. Just start and go with your best foot forward. You don't know if it's going to work. You just got to try, and you got to take a risk. And those risks are really beneficial sometimes. They're going to teach you a lot, especially if it's something that's not going to, you're not going to break the bank. Try some new things. Let's see. So Chris says, I don't think I have it in me to be a designer, but have recently done production knitting and love it. How do we apply to do production knitting? So Chris, yeah. So production knitting, like being a sample maker, being a stitcher. I mean, that's just a kind of, getting in touch with yarn companies, with publishers. Get in touch with me. Like if you want to, I'm able to talk. If you want to, chat with me, I gave you the email earlier, but Kara@PowerPearlsPodcast.com, or you can contact me through the magazine at editor@creativeknittingmagazine.com. And basically, share with me your credentials, what it is, what kind of experience you have, if you have a resume. And a lot of magazines or, other yarn companies, they'll ask you to try something, to test out something, because that's, kind of how you start. The proof is in the pudding, and to actually create something and make something. And then, to see your skills. And that's how you start. It's that easy, Chris. It is that easy. So let's see. So Stephanie says, I think it'll be good for me even if I don't have a business. Yeah, exactly. So, the first thing I do every morning before I even start doing any business stuff, and it's like non-negotiable, is to sit in silence and to kind of go within, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little woo-woo here, but I think woo-woo is part of it, because that ends up, really kind of trickling into everything else that I'm doing for the magazine, for the podcast. I need to move too, getting outside and running. Big deal for me. And I didn't do that today. So after this podcast, or after this video, I get confused because I got lots going on. After this video, it's my lunchtime, but I'm going to go and have a quick workout and then, get back to work. Gianna, you are going to have to listen again. Totally. And I'm assuming you meant all those episodes. Start from number 1. Sounds like a great idea, says Chris. Love the workshop idea. Awesome. Angie, I love workshops. You learn so much. That's right. Just do it, says Stephanie. Just do it. Rita says it's an essential part to start the morning. So cool. I'm really glad that you guys like this idea. And of course, like I said, I put it out to all my newsletter subscribers. And so I'm really looking forward to hearing what everyone's thinking. So it's out there. It's out in the interwebs. So now it's got to happen. So that's the way of putting the deadline and the pressure on myself. And part of the reason why I haven't talked about it, but I really, like I said, I feel like it's only going to give you so much value. And so I'm going to pay that forward because it's something I've been doing for years and it is so powerful and it works. It really, really works. Okay, so there's that. Next, final stuff, and then we're going to sign off. So on the podcast, I said earlier, Brooke Nico is on the show, episode 46. She talks about how she entered the world of knitting. She's a true phenom, I'm telling you. Like when it comes to lace knitting, she's the darling. She's the darling in the industry. She really knows her stuff. It's very natural. Like I can remember having a conversation with her, and she's just like knitting, making lace, talking, just flying off the needles. And I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. Like if I mess up on something, like I make lace and it's a really intricate pattern, I toss it. I'm sorry, I'm just being totally honest. Start over. So she's on the show. And then next time, in 2 weeks, we got Dora Ornstein. So you guys, you crocheters, but even if you're not, she's got this awesome book that just came out. It's a top-down crochet sweater book, and she's going to be talking about that. And so you don't want to miss that. And then guess who? Deborah Newton, the one and only Deborah Newton, the author of Designing Knitwear. She's going to be on the show in a couple months. Then we have Stephen Berg, known as the Glitter Knitter. He's going to be talking about Halos of Hope. He has a contest, a hat contest coming up, so we're going to be publicizing that. I'm going to help him publicize that pretty soon. And Lena Skavargason, the lead designer of Annie's Signature Designs, is going to be talking about the behind-the-scenes making of Autumn Bliss, the current collection that is out right now. So check it out, Annie'sSignatureDesigns.com. We're going to talk about it because I have been involved in the process. So we're going to dig into what it was from start to finish. We're going to actually unpack the process. So blank page to creation. And then I kind of touch a little bit on, the PR and marketing process because that's my role. I am the PR person. But then I realized midway through, almost more than midway through, because it's a long episode, you guys, but it's packed with value. I said, Lena, I think I need to talk about the PR process, the marketing, the social media, what we did, because it's been a huge success, what I did, and talk about that step by step separately. Because you guys, if you guys are out there rocking it or trying to rock it in your design business or start a business, you got to use these marketing techniques. They're going to help you. And so I'm going to share, again, I'm going to just pay it forward free of charge, right? I mean, you're going to get it from me and I'm going to show you how I did it. And so I think that's going to be an episode all on its own and how I did that. And then also starting November 8th, I know this is early, but I'll probably talk about it again. Creative Knitting Knit Along with Françoise Danois. And Françoise has been on Power Pearls. She is, and I call her the Instagram marketing maven. She is absolutely fantastic. She has an Instagram free guide she's got like over 20,000 followers on Instagram. And she does beautiful work. And you'll absolutely have to check her out. And she's Aroha Knits on Instagram. So you can check out Françoise. Just search for that on Power Pearls Podcast, and you'll find her. And then you can get to her Instagram and all that stuff. But take her free course. And so she's doing, circling back, she's the featured knit along for Creative Knitting Winter, which is live right now. CreativeKnittingMagazine.com. Winter issue, can you believe that? The winter issue is live right now, but digital, not on the newsstand. So it's digital. And Françoise is going to be doing the knit along, and it's going to be a live knit along, you guys. So she's going to be 2 weeks. So starting November 8th, just mark your calendars right now so you can save the date. She's going to be doing a live video broadcast knit along. First time we're doing that because you guys asked, and the Creative Knitting fans have asked. So we're finally going to do that. And then let's see, last but not least, Tabitha Hedrick. Tabitha Hedrick last week was on the video here. And she is giving away a copy of her book, Cool Chunky Knits. Now, I told you that the contest was over on the 30th midnight, which it means it's over, but good news. I'm extending it to October 1st, midnight October 1st, because I thought, why not? Start, on October 1st. It's a new month. So, because I want you guys to be able to get your copy, or maybe not copy, but I want you to get your chance, but then go get your copy if you don't win. But here, I want you to check this out. But first, before I do that, I want to just show you, I want to see what you guys have said here. All right, good. You guys are loving the idea of the knit along. So, yes, Joanne, Françoise will be demonstrating during the knit along. Okay, so I'm going to flip you around because I want you to see this page. Still up there. So here it is for Tabitha Hedrick's book. Okay, Cool Chunky Knits. And you've got 11 hours, 20 minutes, and 28 seconds. So you can enter to get the copy. So there is the book. And if you were watching last week, Tabitha paged through the book a little bit so you could see what's like inside. And I don't have a copy here. Of course, I have a copy at the office, at the Creative Knitting Annie's office. Silly me. So I guess, you can't remember everything. You know what I mean? That happens. So anyway, you guys, this was it. I covered everything and more. So yes, Rita, lots of exciting things happen. So you guys, please share. I meant to do this earlier. I didn't ask you. Please share this video with your friends now. They can watch the replay because there's lots of value nuggets and lots of information that's coming up in the future. So it'd be nice to share the love. Please share the love. And then one more thing real quick. Next week, I will be on the road traveling. Thanks, Chris. You have a great weekend too. I will not be able to do this video live. So I'm going to be doing a little experiment. And I'm just letting you guys know that it is an experiment. I'm actually going to do a replay episode of one of these videos. And when I post it, you can still jump in and leave comments. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And I'm actually going to be reposting a video. So I hope that's okay, because life happens, right? But I don't want to miss out. And I don't want you to miss out, seeing these videos. Because we want to keep it going because consistency is everything, right? So with that, I'm leaving you, and enjoy today's new podcast with Brooke Nico, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.